to walk through some lesson planning for you guys, especially for us it's been a while since we've kind of taught. So this is going to be applied to either a small group, if you're planning a Bible study lesson, if you're trying to do access, anything like that. So just want to make sure that you guys kind of have a framework of what to do. So this part's called designing effective lessons. So I just want to go through a couple of slides and just kind of talk through it. So the biggest thing that research is talking about is lecturing or just kind of regurgitating information to students. That's not going to really do it as far as learning. And I know that's a lot of times what we try to do. We do that really well for like students and like little kids. But when it comes to youth or young adults or adults even, lecturing can't really do that. And the reason why is because you want students to be actively engaged in the process, right? So if you think of a student who comes into class and your goal is, hey, I want to preach the gospel through the book of Genesis, right? Especially the story of Noah. And all you do is you just read Genesis chapter 6 and you go, okay, well, this is what it looks like. Boom, there's the gospel. They may get it, right? But most likely that's not going to really stick. They might kind of regurgitate the information, maybe even like say the same facts, but they're not actively engaging in the thought process, right? They're just being passively taught these type of things. And so what needs to happen, and if you look at the screen, it just says we got to do way more than just lecture, right? And lecturing is not bad in and of itself, but if that's the only thing we got, it's pretty much us talking to students, and for the most part, they may or may not even be listening. And they may have eye contact with you, but they're thinking about, video games or whatever else, right? And so here's a couple of things that I want to kind of keep in mind as we do this. And this is key, right? The lesson should always be done for the benefit of the student and never at the preference of the instructor. And the reason why is because we know how important these things are. And so a lot of times we'll design our lessons and we'll design our classes to go, okay, this is really, really important to me. And I want you to understand it the way I understand it. And that's good intention. But again, you have to think through, okay, where are they coming at? What do they need to know, right? And so the goal is to bring an understanding, a level of understanding for the students, for them, where they're at, right? And so that may be very different for some students, but it's definitely different from a student to you. So what you want to do is there has to be strategy, and there's got to be a lot of prep work prior to the delivery of the lesson. And so a couple of ways that works is you want to make sure that the lesson can be constructed in a simple process. And this is what it's called, the pedagogical spiral. The pedagogical spiral. And so there's three things. It starts easily with the first one, which is content delivery. So content delivery is the first step, right? It's taking truths or facts, and this can be done in, again, lectures, reading, videos, role playing, these type of things. And what you want to do is that's just content delivery. Hey, I got information that I want to talk to you. But then what you do from that point, right? What you do for the content delivery is you want to go into content practice. This would be exercises, discussions, problem solving. So once you've kind of delivered your maybe 1, 2, 3 points, right? Or you've read the passage together, then the next step of learning is to go, okay, what are we going to do with this? How do we play with it? Maybe you want to bring in some examples of, okay, well, what are some other theories about this passage? Have you thought about this word? And you want them to engage with the lesson itself. Not so much for you to go, hey, this is what it is, and then to go, okay, well, that's what it is. Instead, you want to kind of get them to process it, think through it, maybe even question it, debate it. But this is what content practice is going to look like. And so this may take a couple minutes. This could take all day. This could be a whole week. If it's something really, really big, such as sexuality. It could be a big theological topic such as the atonement. You may need to spend a good chunk of time being able to do this content exercise. And so the key here is internalizing it, right? For the student. And again, they may not agree with you immediately, but what you need to get them to do is to process, think through that. Now, it's going to be different between middle school and high school, but that's the goal, right? It's internalizing it. And then what you do after that, right? So once you have content delivery, content practice, then you go back to assessment and feedback to where as they're processing it and as they're thinking and internalizing it, you as the quote unquote expert on this topic or on this subject, you're going to give them a feedback loop. And what you're doing is you're going to go, okay, have you considered this? Or, hey, that doesn't really seem right. Or you go, hey, this is kind of how I thought through it, but you want to give some kind of feedback. So you want to correct their misunderstanding at times. You want to affirm where they're getting it right, where they're on the right path. But again, you're not trying to give them the answers, right? Because if you just give them the answers, that's going back to content delivery, right? They haven't processed it for themselves. And so this last portion of the spiral is this assessment and feedback, right? And you can do that by, again, your comments. You can sit them down and just be like, okay, well, what do you guys all think about this? It could be kind of a rubric in that manner. But again, it's a spiral, right? And it's constantly doing this, and you're constantly trying to do delivery, practice, and feedback, these type of things. And so, again, just in conclusion, your goal as a teacher is to provide active opportunities for them to engage with the material, right? It's that practice aspect that's huge, not just the delivery. And so teachers, you gotta be creative. You gotta put a little bit work into, okay, this is what I wanna get, this is what I want them to know, all the effort it's gonna be into, okay, how am I gonna get them to get there? What are some ways in which it will meet them where they're at, right? And so it's different, right? Guys, girls, mixed groups, different grades, whatever. And so your job is to kind of create this space or activities or whatever to where they can get it. Again, that's where we want to be as a teaching team this year. Put a little bit of effort into not the delivery, but the engagements. Again, it's going to take time. And so just want to give you a quick little heads up on how to plan, what to look out for in your lessons. And so we'll continue to practice this even as a leadership team. All right, thanks.